Angulo was born in Puebla, Mexico. He is a composer, violinist, and violist. He began his musical studies at the age of 7 at the National Conservatory of Music in Mexico City under the direction of the great master Vladimir Wolfman. He graduated in 1973 and in 1975 from the Royal Conservatory in The Hague, Netherlands, with an Excellence Award. His work includes symphonic, chamber, and choral music, as well as concerts for piano, harp, harpsichord, viola, guitar, flute, and more. One of his more popular works is the ballet El Flautista de Hamelin, the Pied Piper. It's been done by the Jalisco Ballet and the National Ballet of Mexico. Eduardo currently lives in Cuernavaca, Mexico. It took several months of listening to many composers until I finally discovered Eduardo. In fact, it was another great Mexican composer, Juan Pablo Contreras, that led me to him. When I heard his symphony, Posada, I knew I had found him. I could hear Katrina singing in the melodies. It was as if the opera was already written. I contacted Eduardo, went to Mexico City, we met, and that was it.
Hello, I'm Eduardo Angulo. I'm a Mexican composer, and I'm the composer of Katrina, a Mexican opera. I like very much the subject because it is very Mexican. It is in the time which I love of the Mexican culture. I always have loved very much the beginning of the last century, the 20th and 19th century. I love that space in the time of Mexico, which I think is very productive, very alive, and it has a lot of fire in it. I can see myself very well writing such a work as Katrina, because it's the kind of music and it's the kind of time I really like. It's very Mexican. It's got all the Mexican culture in it, and all the mystic, and all the colors, and all the flavors of this wonderful country which is Mexico. And I guess there are not that many operas, or I guess there's not even one about Katrina, which I think it's a wonderful subject because it's so deep in our Mexican culture, and this could very well represent a very colorful, very beautiful, and very bright side of Mexico. Well, to try to explain Katrina in a few words, that's kind of difficult, but I will say this very simply. Katrina was a very normal woman. She used to sell flowers outside a cemetery. She was a very normal Mexican happy woman. But then afterwards, in the passing of the opera, she loses her 2 children by a horrible accident, but the father of the children is implicated in that. He's the one who kills them by accident. So she cannot go back to her husband, she cannot go back to her love, which is who is her husband. So she transformed herself into Katrina, the Katrina we know today, the legend, the myth, which Katrina Esporrosa. I think it's very important that we produce such an opera because I think we have to show to the world all this magic and all these wonderful myths, because it's a myth, it's a legend, and especially of this kind of people who are so much into the Mexican culture. We all love mysticism. We are very mystic people, and I guess Katrina is perhaps one of the most important myths of the Mexican culture. And I guess there is no such opera in the whole world about Mexican people, about Mexico, and it has to be sung in Spanish, and of course it will have to be with very Mexican music of that time, very folkloric, very nationalistic roots of Mexican music. I guess there's no such an opera in the whole world. So I think it is very, very important to show the whole world the Mexican opera. It appeals to me because it is about Mexico. I am a very nationalistic composer. I am proud to be Mexican. I love everything about Mexico. And I think to produce such an opera will be an honor and a privilege for me. And I think right now, in this moment, I'm really ready to write such an opera. It appeals to me because it is Mexico. I am Mexico.